Yeah, we're going to kick off by inviting Stephen to just share your personal experience around NPS and I think bring to life what's the appeal?
What's the appeal? Right, well, my personal experience with NPS is actually starts, well, it actually goes back to the 90s where me actually and friends that were at uni that were doing chemistry and this at uni, cut it 20 years on through Facebook, meeting back up with them. They're now doing what they are doing in St Albans. And my background as part of as a user also was distributing it onto the streets through a well-known franchise that made the headlines quite a few times.
Stephen, can you use the microphone?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry.
It's all right, we want to hear what you've got to say.
So yeah, working for a well-known franchise that was distributing it onto the streets, which I actually sold when quite a few deaths in my own hometown happened, and I didn't want the stigma of being associated with the shop. Now, with being part of the franchise for 4 years, I had bin bags of this stuff in my flat, which we would order in and it was there. So my habit, even though I had a 30-year habit of crack and heroin, 4 years ago, NPSs were in my flat by the tonnage, and selling them, I had to try them so I could tell people if they needed to know the do's, don'ts, the effects, whatever. Now, doing these put me in hospital twice. Spice alone has put me in hospital twice with 2 heart attacks. My first heart attack I didn't even know I was having for 10 hours, and I rode it out, went shopping, come back, and then phoned an ambulance. They was like, because I was on crack and heroin, they just automatically thought it was that. But when they found out that I was smoking spice, another time that I'd gone into hospital, I had a second heart attack. I hadn't used crack or heroin, and I'd only used spice. So that actually proved that it was the actual spice that gave me the heart attack. And then, cut a long story short, coming off of it, well, I came off of, well, I'm 10 months clean now of crack, heroin and NPSs, but coming off of it, now I found coming off of heroin and crack so much easier than coming off of spice. Spice is evil. Spice will grab you and it will kill you. It nearly killed me twice.
Okay.
And yeah.
Thanks.
It's not good. It ain't novelty.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Anthony. Just the same thing. What's your experience, and what do you think the appeal is about these?
The appeal to me, I've been a lifelong user of alcohol, a problem drinker, and the appeal to me was I didn't want to drink anymore. I wanted to take the edge off. I suffer from that. I wanted to change my reality, whatever, and I chose something that I thought was relatively safe and legal, and I chose spice, and I picked it up. I couldn't put it down. I just couldn't put it down at all. I've tried lots of other drugs, and there's a physical dependence that came from the spice, and I can only compare that to heroin and withdrawals from opiates. But there's also a mental deterioration that happened to me really, really quickly over a couple of months. It led me to have a bit of a psychotic episode, and the events from there, that's what caused me to stop, because my actions were that unacceptable to myself and to my family. So that's what made me stop. It was something quite dramatic. The physical decay, I went down to 8.5 stone. The mental decay, you can compare it to heavy use of crack cocaine, but of course the availability of it, it's available for £5-10 a gram, whereas any large amounts of crack cocaine are going to cost you a lot of money. You've got something here that's dirt cheap, that is really dangerous on a lot of levels. People underestimate it. They call it a synthetic cannabinoid, and when I'm using it, I can't really feel the weed in it. You know, it's something completely different. It might be similarly chemically or something like that. In effect, it's absolutely nothing like it. It's a lot stronger. I'm a bit of a gadget freak, and I've had all these Bluetooth heart rate monitors, blood pressure and everything. And I can remember having a hit of spice once and putting the Bluetooth blood pressure monitor on me. It went absolutely through the roof. Now, cannabis wouldn't do that to you. It's really dangerous. There's fitting and things like that, and I just couldn't put it down. So the initial appeal that I just wanted to change my reality or get my head down, that quickly disappeared. It was a question of having it, crashing out, waking up, and the second you wake up, where is it? And it knocks you out for several hours. Did you find it knocks you out for several hours at a time? And it's just really powerful stuff, and it's quite frightening.
Thanks, Anthony. Okay, Rocky, do you want to share anything?
Yeah. I've currently just recently got out of prison. I spent 5.5 years in prison, which I picked up quite a bad spice habit whilst I was in prison. First of all, just like smoking the odd joint now and again, until it grips hold of you like in a headlock. You can't think straight. All you want is the spice. The obsession and the compulsion to use the spice just becomes so strong. I got took out by the ambulance, as we call it in there, twice. One of the times I remember having a bucket and I woke up with all these heart rate monitors strapped to me. My heart rate was like 180 beats a minute. It was close to cardiac arrest. And I refused to go to hospital, so they put me in like an observation cell. And after I'd come round, the only thing I wanted to do was get back to my cell, because I knew I had a wrap of spice in there and I just wanted another pipe. So like near-death experiences is not enough to stop you. Even like getting released from prison after the 5 years, I got released from Preston, and all that was, I wasn't even bothered about getting out. The only thing that bothered to me was I had to get from Preston to Barrow-in-Furness in Cumbria, get out in the morning without using. I had to wait till I get back to Barrow so so I actually scored the night before I got out of prison and smuggled it out of prison so I could have a joint at the train station before I got home. And that's the obsession and the compulsion that doesn't leave you. You know, it just gets worse and worse. I was smoking up to 5-6 gram a day. What it appeals to people is, like Anthony said, the price. £5 for a gram, and the effects you get off that £5, you can't get nothing like it, which is appealing to a lot of people. I thought it was just a jail problem, because the testing, you can't test for it. You know, it's the ideal drug in jail because you can't get tested and you can't get done for it, and it's just as big outside of prison and more easily accessible. They call it legal, which it definitely shouldn't be legal. I think it's affecting quite a lot of youngsters at the moment as well, who quite a lot of drug use start through cannabis when you're early aged. And a lot of people are just going straight to the spice now, and it's affecting a lot of the youth around Barrow. You see congregations of a multi-storey car park, and it's really bad at the moment.
Thanks, Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay.